Oh, it's so good to see you. You too, dear. I missed you so much.
The letter arrived on a Tuesday morning. Plain white envelope. No return address. Inside was a single sentence. You have a biological aunt living in Pennsylvania. Margaret Collins was 82 years old. Her father had died in 1954, and according to everything she had ever known, he had no siblings. So how could this be possible? Before we begin, tell me in the comments where. Are you watching from today? And have you ever uncovered a family secret that changed everything? Because today's story is one you won't forget. Welcome to Storytales, where history, mystery, and humanity collide. If you love emotional, real-life stories about family, sacrifice, and unbelievable reunions, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe, because stories like this don't come around often. And trust me, if you leave before the end, you'll miss the one detail that explains everything. Now, let's begin. Margaret Collins lived in a small house in Dayton, Ohio. Her father, Thomas Green, had always been quiet about his childhood. She knew only 3 things. He immigrated to America in 1946. He rarely spoke about the war, and he had no living family. At least, that's what she believed. For her 82nd birthday, her granddaughter Emily bought her a DNA test kit. You never know what you'll find, Grandma Emily smiled. Margaret just laughed. I'm too old for surprises. She was wrong. 3 weeks later, an email notification appeared. Close family match, minus 23% shared DNA. That percentage meant one thing. A first-degree relative. The name listed was Daniela Kovacs, age Chishigio. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Relationship prediction? Half-sibling or aunt. Marguerite stared at the screen for 10 full minutes. Her father never had a sister. Never. Unless did. When World War II erupted in 1939, Thomas was 14 years old, living in Hungary. As Germany advanced through Eastern Europe, families scattered, records burned, children were displaced. Margaret had once asked him what happened back then. He replied, only once. Some doors should stay closed. He never elaborated. Margaret gathered old documents from a wooden trunk in her attic. Inside was her father's immigration file, and tucked behind it, a faded photograph. 2 teenage boys, and a little baby wrapped in cloth. On the back, written in Hungarian, Ferana. Keep her safe. Margaret's hands trembled. Anna. Was that Daniela? Tell me something in the comments if you discovered your father had hidden a sibling for 80 years. Would you feel betrayed or grateful to finally know? Margaret hesitated for 2 days before dialing the number attached to the DNA profile. A soft voice answered. Hello, my name is Margaret Collins, she said slowly. I believe we share DNA. There was silence. Then, a shaky whisper. My father's name was Istvan Kovacs. He died in 2001. My mother told me I had 2 brothers who disappeared during the war. Margaret's heart pounded. My father's birth name was Istvan Green. Before he changed it. The line went quiet. Then Daniela began to cry. Daniela explained what her mother had told her. In 1944, the Soviet forces approached Hungary. The family fled. Thomas, whose birth name was Istvan, and his older brother were separated while escaping toward Austria. Daniela was born months later. Her mother never saw her sons again. For years, she believed they were dead. But Thomas survived, and he never went back. Why? Margaret kept digging. Through the Red Cross archives, she found something unexpected. In 1945, Thomas had been sheltered by an American soldier named Captain Robert Hawley. Instead of sending him to a displaced persons camp, Holly sponsored him to come to America. But there was one condition. Thomas had to sever all ties to his past. The U.S. immigration program at the time prioritized single, unattached refugees. If Thomas had declared living relatives, he might not have been eligible. So he made a choice. A brutal one. He chose survival. He chose a future. But he lost his family. A week later, Daniela mailed Margaret something, a letter written by her father in 1963. It had never been sent. Inside it read, "If you are alive, forgive me. I believed you were safer without me. Every day I regret not searching for you. I hope one day our blood finds its way back together." Margaret cried for hours. Her father had known, he had remembered. He had loved them. He just believed distance was protection. At 82 and 79, the two women met for the first time at Pittsburgh International Airport. No cameras, no media, just two elderly women staring at each other. Daniela whispered, "You have his eyes." Margaret responded, "And you have his smile." They hugged like children. 80 years of silence collapsed into one moment. Later that evening, Margaret visited Daniela's home. On the wall was a framed black and white photo, the same one from her attic. 2 boys and a baby. Margaret realized something deeper. Her father had kept the photo all those years. He didn't forget. He carried the memory quietly, out of fear, out of guilt, out of love. And because one American soldier chose kindness in 1945, Thomas lived. Margaret was born, and 80 years later, blood found blood again. Before we end, tell me in the comments, would you take a DNA test, or are there secrets you're afraid to uncover? And where are you watching from today? Your stories matter too. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Storytales. Because next week, we're resharing the story of a 90-year-old veteran who discovered he had a daughter he never knew about after. A nurse made one small decision in 1952. And trust me, you won't see the twist coming. This is Storytales, where loss, history finds its way home. See you in the next story.